The call came at 6:12 a.m. A number I recognized, a voice I didn't. "Mr. Hale," the man said, hesitant, unsure, "there's something you should see." Papers rustled. A silence thick enough to suffocate followed. He cleared his throat. "It's regarding your accounts. And your wife?" My pulse didn't spike. It didn't even rise. It simply stopped, like the body knew the truth before the mind did. I stared at the window. Dawn was a smear of red and gold, bleeding into the skyline, a beautiful lie, dressed in color. "What about my wife?" I asked. He hesitated again. Men rarely hesitate with me. "I think it's better discussed in person." I imagined him looking over documents, numbers arranged with surgical precision, patterns that weren't supposed to exist. The kind of patterns someone creates when they think you'll never look close enough to find them. Someone you trust. Someone who smiles at you before telling a room full of people that another man, your wife's new husband, is taking your life's work. I ended the call. No goodbye, no questions, just the quiet acknowledgement that something had shifted beneath my feet, and it wasn't done shifting yet. The memory played again. The party, the clapping, the staged humiliation. My wife's father raising his glass, pretending it was celebration and not execution. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jake, my daughter's future husband. He'll be replacing our current manager, effective immediately." Laughter, claps, relief in their voices. Finally, like they'd been waiting for me to fall. My wife didn't look at me. She didn't have to. Her silence was its own confession. Soft, practiced, deliberate. A silence that belonged to someone already living a double life. Jake squeezed her waist. Her father watched me like he was waiting for the collapse. But I didn't collapse. I memorized every expression, every distance, every whisper between them. Suspicion wasn't born in that moment. It was confirmed. The late nights, the hidden messages, the inside jokes shared across rooms when they thought I wasn't looking. The way my wife stopped introducing me as her husband and started calling me the fund manager. And the way Jake had walked into my office weeks before the party with a smile that didn't belong to a stranger. "I've heard a lot about you," he'd said. I didn't know then, but I felt something, a wrongness that slid beneath the skin. Now it pulsed. I didn't confront anyone, I didn't accuse, I didn't cry or demand explanations. Instead, I documented phone records, client communications, internal audits, private messages, anonymous financial transfers, metadata from photos she thought she'd deleted. I slept next to her through all of it. My breathing steady, my eyes closed, my mind dissecting every lie she inhaled. She thought betrayal was a single event. She didn't understand it was a timeline, and I knew every point along it. I traced hidden accounts back to Jake, then from Jake to her father, then from her father to a partner who had once sworn loyalty to me. A circle, tight, calculated, and stupid, because they forgot one simple truth. I built the fund. I controlled the clients. I knew every number, every signature, every shell they thought they'd hidden. And quietly, I started building something of my own. A dossier. Not for revenge, not yet, for clarity. By the time the sun rose again, I understood everything. Except why. But the why no longer mattered. The next morning, Jake arrived at my office early. Too early. He walked in before I'd even removed my coat. A grin plastered across his face. "Ready to hand over your client list?" I closed the door behind him, slowly. The soft click of the latch made him flinch. "No," I said. "I'm here to return something." His smile wavered. I placed the thick, sealed envelope on the desk between us. He reached for it. I didn't stop him. Watching his face drain, color slipping like water down a sink, was almost poetic. He skimmed the contents once, then again. Bank statements, messages, infidelity, fraud, collusion, asset theft, his signature, her father's, every secret they thought lived in the dark. He looked up, voice breaking. Where did you get this? I built the fund, I said. Did you really think I didn't know how to follow the money? He swallowed hard. Sweat pooled at his temples. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't threaten. I simply stepped aside from the desk, letting him fully absorb what he'd done. Your father-in-law, he started. My former father-in-law, I corrected. He stared at me like he finally understood something. I hadn't been blindsided. I'd been calculating. Quietly, patiently, precisely. You're going to prison, he whispered. No, I said. You are. And your partners. And your future father-in-law. His breath caught. I sent every file to the board an hour ago. They're in an emergency meeting.
We speak. I picked up my coat. Oh, I added, almost kindly, and my wife? She's receiving her own copy right now, with photographs. He collapsed into the chair, a man breaking in real time. I walked out of the building without looking back. Sirens passed me on the street 10 minutes later, but I didn't turn toward them. There was nothing left in that place worth seeing again. 14 years of loyalty. 14 years of building an empire for people who sharpened their knives with my own success. But they forgot something. You can betray a man. You can replace him. You can humiliate him in front of a crowd. But you should never assume he isn't watching. Never assume he doesn't already know. As I stepped onto the empty sidewalk, the morning sun hit my face. Bright, clear, quiet. I didn't smile. I didn't need to. Because for the first time in 14 years, I wasn't being replaced. I was walking away. And finally, they were the ones left behind.